Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very interesting and amusing development. The Verge. Why Spotify kept Joe Rogan over Neil Young. New York Times. Spotify removes Neil Young's music after complaints about Joe Rogan. CNN. Spotify says it will remove Neil Young's music, according to reports. So, Wall Street Journal. So we can go on. I mean, you can look. What basically happened, I'm not going to get too into it, but you can read the articles below. Neil Young gave an ultimatum to Spotify because Joe Rogan had guests and communicated certain beliefs or certain viewpoints that Neil Young finds reprehensible. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the only way morally superior liberal Democrats know how to voice their opinions or debate or influence the public sphere. It's through economic intimidation, suppression of dialogue and speech, an apoplectic, hysterical, almost religious, a kind of almost cult-like religious fanaticism that says, I cannot even be part of Spotify because I don't want to be part of a platform that allows somebody to present information to the public that, by the way, a large or good segment of the population either agree with or want to hear about or believe should be part of a discussion. But the mentality is the following. If you don't listen to me, this is the liberal mindset, and I was a lifelong Democrat my whole life, up until the past 3-4 years. I went from Bernie Sanders to President Donald Trump. There's a direct line from Bernie to Trump, and I explained that in The Federalist. So you can go to my author page in The Federalist. I wrote an article on that. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. Read my article in The Federalist on the stock market crash we're seeing. We're going to head into eventually a recession. Elon Musk says that. He's predicted that, and I've been saying this as well. But the economic catastrophe, unfortunately, is imminent. We're seeing all of this take place slowly because of Democratic policies that ended economic activity 2 years ago. Then they say, oh, we're alleviating childhood poverty. You caused all this poverty to increase with your completely irrational policies, but we can't really get into that right now. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel that's below, to my new Patreons. Thank you. Share this segment because it's very important. Share this segment with anyone who doesn't understand the liberal mindset, because I was a liberal Democrat my whole life, and I can tell you, and thank God I'm no longer in that cult, I can tell you how the mindset works. Most liberal, wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats like Neil Young, they are not capable of seeing a different viewpoint or accepting a different vantage point or looking at the world or even accepting the expertise or the knowledge base of somebody who's very qualified. So when Joe Rogan interviews people, they're highly qualified people. Okay, they're world-renowned. The pedigree or the background is impeccable for these people. The problem is they've engaged in blasphemy and heresy. This is now religious doctrine. There are numerous topics that have become religious doctrine on the left. January, you-know-what, discussion about you-know-what, Trump being a horrible monster. This is religious doctrine to them. they've done away with God or religion, and their religion now is, their own political ideology. MSNBC, CNN, Jimmy Kimmel, Trevor Noah, John Oliver, Seth Meyer, The Washington Post, The New York Times. I said MSNBC, CNN, BuzzFeed, Daily Beast, Time Magazine, Atlantic, Esquire, New York Magazine, New Yorker. The Atlantic can go ahead and make up quotes from Trump saying he disparaged fallen Americans, and Biden and Kamala Harris will actually cite fabricated quotes, just like the entire media cited a fabricated Steele dossier purchased by Clinton and the DNC. They believe they purchase their own myths, and if they don't purchase them, they create this religious doctrine around their political ideology. It has become a religion. This is why you have liberal Democrats, and I know these people, who will disown friends after 30, 40 years of knowing them, simply because they can't possibly hear a different viewpoint. And they can't accept a different viewpoint because they have equated an opposing mindset to somehow influencing others into harming or into somehow the ideas they oppose will ultimately lead to someone's loss of life. They can't prove it in a court of law, but you better believe that's what they think. And Neil Young lost. Spotify won. I mean, Spotify won the money. It's a business decision. And the ultimatum was kind of hilarious because it's not like people are, just, can't wait to hear Neil Young's music, even though he's a great, rock icon or, folk music, whatever. He is an icon in terms of the music industry. But Joe Rogan is the number one podcaster, media personality on the planet. And the reason is because he actually discusses and addresses topics that the mainstream views as, like I said, blasphemy or heresy. He is a heretic to people like Neil Young. Okay, Twitter has banned, and then you have other platforms banning people that fall outside of what they consider to be appropriate or decent or moral behavior. Morality now is predicated upon the sensibilities. Now, this is important, ladies and gentlemen. Morality is predicated upon the sensibilities of liberal Democrats. And that morality is imposed through coercion, fear, intimidation, bullying online. The Steele dossier was never against Twitter policies. Hunter's emails was, okay? These social media algorithms are based on the sensibilities of morally superior liberal Democrats. If they can't, they wanted to boycott Pepsi the other day, I heard, okay? This is hilarious. If they can't defeat you in an argument, and usually they can't, usually because, you're talking about, they actually cheated Bernie Sanders and then blamed Russia for 4 years and railroaded Bernie Sanders, said it was fair and neutral. They don't even have a functioning primary. They don't even have a functioning primary. Okay? They can't even function within their own political party. So imagine what they've done. They've Trump Russia'd every topic. And they fabricated and literally purchased that myth also. But Spotify siding with Joe Rogan is actually a amusing, almost hilarious victory for free speech. I don't even know if it's free speech. It's just an example of a morally superior liberal Democrat trying to use economic intimidation, trying to use money to intimidate a platform into silencing somebody else. Okay? That has never happened until recently. You've never seen these economic boycotts until recently. Here's the reason why, and I'll end this right now. The ideas on the left are not popular. They only survive if everyone in unison, from Jimmy Kimmel to the Washington Post to CNN to every social media algorithm to people like Neil Young, unless every single person on that political divide, okay? Of course, we're not counting the 73 million Americans who voted for Trump. We're talking about every other person on that political spectrum that promotes their viewpoint, even on late night television. Unless they all parrot the same talking points, unless they all try to suppress the same views on social media, unless they use their economic weight, their ideas, most of their ideas, disintegrate. Because what they like to do is hide behind lofty ideals, and they're hypocrites. I mean hypocrites when it comes to everything. You can look at their own primary with Bernie Sanders. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Spotify did the right thing. It wasn't even about the right thing. This was a business decision. And Joe Rogan, of course, won. Give me your thoughts. Hit subscribe right now. I'll have a live stream tonight at around probably about 9:30 p.m. Thank you.